So, welcome everyone. We are happy to see you today on our webinar. Please leave a plus if you hear us properly, that you hear us, see us. If you have any issues, please never mind. Don't hesitate to leave a comment in the chat. And we are going to start in a few minutes, waiting for everyone to attend. As I can see, there are around 25 people now. Please feel free to leave a few comments that we do you hear us, see us. And before we start, I'll quickly introduce our speakers. Today with us is Hart, analyst and blogger from Cwh.consulting, and Victoria Evdokimova. She's a global sales manager at Voximplant. Also, we are really interested to know you as well. So let us know what sphere of business are you coming from. Maybe some questions do you already have. We will be happy to answer them all in the end of the webinar. Today we are going to discuss how to bolster your customer service during quarantine using conversational IVR. We'll share great cases and we'll be answering your questions, as I already said, at the end of the webinar. So please don't hesitate to leave your questions in the chat. And last but not least, we have a great offer for this webinar. It's in the offer section. It's here. Please fill in the form, and we will be happy to share a free scenario consultation from our developers. So feel free. And slowly but surely, we are going to our first speaker. Again, it's Hart, analyst and blogger from Cwh.consulting. So, Chad, passing a word to you. Just a second.
Great. Yeah. Thanks so much, Anna. It's unfortunately, these are tumultuous times for everyone. Our healthcare system is certainly receiving the most stress, but our communication systems actually are too. So COVID-19 has resulted in a lot of unpredictability. On the staffing side, not every business had home agents to deal with calls, and even those that did are dealing with availability issues as staff adjust to having kids at home and just dealing with different schedules. Call volumes are all over the place too. Some businesses are completely shut down, resulting in no call volumes for some, while others are experiencing unprecedented spikes as more and more of us move to remote work and consumers have more time to call and really know our other options to interface with business. So what do? Well, you can't just throw more people at the problem. The only real solution is to implement some kind of process automation to better handle the traffic, even if that's just a temporary process. And when it comes to communications, the easiest place to automate is often the device that's already being used to do some level of communications automation, and that's interactive voice response or IVR. Most businesses already have some form of IVR, even as it's just an auto attendant to route callers to the right staff internally. For call centers, this is certainly a much bigger, more core component. And in all cases, the IVR is in almost all cases actually the first thing the customer hears. So it has a huge impact on the customer experience. The core technology behind most IVRs is what's known as dual tone multi-frequency, or DTMF, often called touchtone. This is the technology that brought number pads and let you press 2 for sales as you go through the IVR. And believe it or not, this is not a new technology. This technology has been around since 1963. It's been with us for quite a while. And one of the downsides of DTMF is that there's just a fixed number of keys on a telephone keypad. It's not like a keyboard. You only have so many digits. And you can make a menu for each one of these keys, but humans have limited patience and memory to have a long list of options. So if you want to actually guide users through a bunch of options, you end up only being able to present them 3 to 5, maybe a little bit more in some cases. Now, if you have 10 potential responses or 10 places you can route people, the only way you can make that work with these parameters is to make this multi-layered menu, where you go through one menu and you go to the next one. Hopefully you don't have to go back, but oftentimes you do. And the reality is customers really hate this, right? It's just not how we talk. It's not how we talk. It's really jarring. We like to go back. We rephrase things. We change our minds. We want to hear all the options, and we don't want to wait. And you just can't accommodate all this with just a few digits for input. So to make IVRs better, another class of technology came along to address this, and that's speech-enabled IVRs. These IVRs make sure make use of speech-to-text technology, or sometimes called STT abbreviated, or other times called automatic speech recognition, or ASR, or sometimes transcription, and they all mean the same thing. But at the minimum, they translate human speech into text that the system can process. And these speech-enabled IVRs, at a minimum, let you define one word or command per output, and ideally allow multiple options, like you just say accounts payable or billing, to get routed to the same thing. Now, another common technology used in speech IVRs is speech synthesis, or text-to-speech, STT, as you might see it abbreviated. Many IVRs let you actually record prompts for everything the IVR says. And if you don't have speech synthesis capability, you have to go and record all those prompts. That takes a lot of time. And every time you're going to go change the IVR, then you need to have somebody go back into the recording studio and make another recording. So that's really cumbersome. So speech synthesis really helps overcome that by allowing the IVR programmer to dynamically determine what the IVR says. The downside is the IVR needs to sound natural. If it sounds unrealistic, users don't like it. It sounds robotic, and it starts to get annoying. So this technology has improved quite a bit. Certainly early speech synthesis sounded very robotic. The newer technologies we'll talk about is getting much, much better. One of the other challenges with IVRs is the way they're programmed. IVRs are usually programmed using some kind of variant of XML, extensible markup language. This is similar to how web pages are built in the early days of the web, before there were things like JavaScript that made them more dynamic and more programmable. XML is good for incorporating like speech recognition and defining static prompts and synthesis, but it's not good at all for dealing with hierarchies, for kind of recursive loops and joining branches and going back. It really is just not set up for that. Right? XML, it's a document. It's set up like to run a web page and do things fairly static. And unfortunately, the way we talk natural language, it doesn't look like web page code. And you come back to the same problem where with speech IVRs are a big improvement over DTMF. They still end up annoying customers just because they take a long time to get through, and they force you to enter input in a very particular way to get it to work. So does this mean that we need to just live with annoying our customers and to route them to the right place? I don't think so. Actually, believe it or not, there's another interactive voice technology that's widely used that people are actually paying to use, and they're doing this all the time. And these are smart speakers and virtual assistants, things like Siri, Alexa, Cortana, and others. These are powered by modern, AI bot technology. And just for, I guess, purposes, I'm going to start referring to, this class of technology as voice bots. And people love voice bots. This is a research report from Juniper Research, and they show there was more than 3.5 billion voice bots used in 2019. Now, this forecast shows actually the number of voice bots used is going to exceed the world population, which basically means every person in the world, on average, will be using more than one voice bot by 2023, with many of us obviously using a lot of them all the time. Now, voice bots are far from perfect, but people like voice bots because they can speak conversationally with them. In voice bot development terms, this is called intents, right? In this particular example, let's say, rather than having a single command to say sales, like you would have in a lot of speech IVRs, you can say any number of phrases to get there, right? Can I talk to sales? What kind of discounts do you have? And the voice bot uses machine learning to figure out if what you said means, route me to sales, and then sends you there. So the best thing here is that you don't need to explicitly program every possible phrase somebody will say, right? The bot has natural language processing that can figure out the meaning behind the words and really natural language understanding to get you to the right place. And you just need to give it enough commands so the voice bot learns what you want. And I do mean learns here because this is using machine learning. And this brings us to the third type of IVR technology, and that's conversational IVR. Now, going back to our previous example, you can see that rather than having a complicated menu system, where users can't say what they want, they have to listen and say the right exact thing. A well-designed voice bot will basically take them there in just one or perhaps immediately after a single prompt, because they can, there's no limit of user interface here. It's basically anything you say and that the bot can understand. So conversational IVR is actually nothing new. It's been around for quite a while. A lot of the incumbent telecom infrastructure vendors have had these for years, but they've been extremely expensive and hard to work with, which means that they're only used in large projects where the costs and implementation times, could afford to be big. This new technology from the big cloud providers is helping to democratize conversational IVRs. In this example from a blog post I had on Cognitive AI, I examined the cost of using Voximplant's Dialogflow connector to implement the conversational IVR. And you see here, you can do it for less than 5 cents a minute. And this is compared to 50 cents to $1 or more per minute for traditional IVR systems. And one of the other exciting aspects of this new breed of voice bot IVR is just how fast this whole industry is moving. The big cloud vendors are in intense competition to provide the best platform and expand into new applications. And this includes expanding into telephony. For example, most major voice bot vendors now offer specific acoustic models for telephony. They're targeting business telephony applications in a lot of cases too. So, for example, Google has a complete contact center AI initiative that includes Dialogflow, which is its voice bot platform for acting as both a virtual agent and also as a conversational IVR. And this actually helps to give agent hints as well as guiding customers. So, one side benefit I want to call out to some of this expansion of these bot platforms into multiple communications channels is that a lot of times systems designed for text, to text chat or a bot system for your website can be adapted for voice and vice versa. Now, while this new breed of conversational IVRs holds tremendous promise, these voice bot platforms do present some challenges, specifically for conversational IVR. First, developing a conversational IVR, a voice bot, is really nothing like developing a traditional IVR. The programming methodology and mindset behind these voice bots is very different. Fortunately, there's, and thanks in large part to the growing smart speaker adoption and the market there, the voice bot market is big and growing, and there's a lot of resources out there for building a bot. Secondly, while some of the platforms are getting into telephony applications, they still don't provide native capabilities for connecting to your own, telephony environment, say via protocols like SIP. So this means that you need to find a suitable gateway for connection. Those options are relatively limited, but they are out there. And I think we'll probably see one in a moment from Voximplant. Lastly, these bot platforms are still largely set up to handle smart speakers and smartphone interactions. They don't handle things natively like DTMF entry or understand the nuances between inbound and outbound calls. So that it just means you need to make sure your gateway platform can support these features, and you need to adjust your voice bot accordingly. And lastly, before I hand things off, I did want to emphasize that, conversational IVR is a great way to better automate customer interactions, but improving the experience is, it's not, you don't need to stop there. It's not the only way. And just a quick example, let's say here, someone calls in with a customer service issue. They go and they talk to the conversational IVR, but unfortunately, an agents are no live persons available and a live person is required. Well, wouldn't it be nice if the bot could schedule a callback and maybe when the agent becomes available, it can send a text message to the customer to say, hey, so the customer's prepared for the call, and if now's not a good time, you don't need to waste the agent's time, trying to reach out to that customer, right? And then send some of the pre-call brief information that was gathered, during the bot interaction to the agent, so the agent can be prepared to handle that call quickly and know exactly what the customer wants, right? And moving on to the callback. And would it be nice during the conversation that say if you're referencing some installation guides or technical materials or really anything, to be able to send the customer, rather than trying to explain a lot of things over the phone, just send them some links, right? So they can go load that up on their smartphone or web page, either for the current moment or for reference afterwards. And of course, the scenario doesn't stop just when the call is done. That post-call summary can be sent for analysis afterwards, and say the contact center realizes that, hey, we forgot a key part in our script that's a little confusing, or they notice that a lot of people are calling up with follow-up information, follow-up requests or questions that weren't resolved. Why not just proactively send out that information to the customer if you think it'll help, right? And it's really these types of systems that are built around a conversational IVR that we need to move to get really effective automation to help with the customer experience. And with that, I'll hand things over to back to you, Donna and Vika.
Thank you so much, Chad. It was really interesting, and I hope that everyone is keeping their questions for chat in the end. So please do not hesitate to post them. We will definitely discuss them in the end. And also, I'm reminding you about the offer that we have. Don't hesitate again to fill in the form and get a chance to get a free scenario design from our developers. And I'm passing a word to our beautiful Victoria Evdokimova. She is a global sales manager at Voximplant. She's going to share our experiences in the sphere. So Vika, I'm passing a word to you.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. So here in Voximplant, my team and I help companies like 8x8, Rappi, Hyundai to improve call center metrics, customer experience, business metrics from one hand, and to reduce cost on communication through AI-powered voice solutions from another hand. As Chad just said, right now the world is facing new challenges. Companies need to be very flexible, fast, and for that, they use technologies to make communication more efficient. For example, Swedish healthcare hotline 1177 during the pandemic outbreak has been overloaded with calls. And as a result, the operators and the healthcare staff couldn't process all the incoming calls. Then a Swedish company called Narratori developed a voice bot based on Voximplant, who is capable to provide people answer to most common questions concerning the virus. Like, what are the symptoms? What should the patient do if he has such symptoms? Or what is the current situation with the virus in this or that city? So the voice bot, who is capable to hear the question, to provide the answers accordingly, and is capable to automate up to 50% of all incoming requests, and to provide people with necessary information immediately, in real time, not keeping them waiting on the line, and to improve call center efficiency. Another example, recent example, is with the KFC. Let's turn the slide. KFC has launched an internal hotline using Voximplant Kit to help their staff cope and provide prompt, detailed responses via email newsletters. So anyone, employees can call the hotline and ask any questions related to the coronavirus. Speech is transcribed with the help of voice recognition technologies and then entered into the database. And the top questions, which the company will formulate responses to, are collected into a specific pool. Then KFC answers each question in detail by email and other communication channels, helping their employees to overcome the situation and to reduce anxiety. So today, I want to show you how easy it is to create such voice bot using Voximplant Kit. It's a ready-to-use tool for creating inbound smart IVR and outbound call campaigns that can cover up to 1 million people in any location. And just a moment, I'll share a screen so I can show you the insights of this technology. Yeah, here we are. So I like it a lot because Voximplant itself is a platform for developers, and Voximplant Kit is a tool for people like me that I don't have any technical background, but with Voximplant Kit, I'm capable to create both inbound to handle first line with the incoming calls and outbound calls of any size within minutes. I'll show you how to do it. For that, the first thing you need to do is to buy a number from the list. We have lots of countries available, like let's say US, landline, special, toll-free, anything. Bind the number with either outbound call scenario or inbound and create a script, and then it just flies. I show you example of how to create this kind of scenarios using Voximplant Kit. Over here, you have all the options for creating the call flow. You just use drag and drop logic option to create the script. For example, if you need to add call recording, you put in here. You put the welcome phrase in here. You can use the variables. So when you make outbound call campaigns, you call your clients by name. You create the flow, upload the list of the people that you need to call in any location with in any languages. You can choose languages from here, synthesis languages and recognition languages. We use several vendors for that. And then you just run the campaign. Let me show you how it works. I will send, we choose a caller ID. We will use my number. Just a moment. Russian. Company, let's say the best company. Customer name, my name, Victoria. Brand. It must be diverse company. Okay. So I'm start a call and you see what happens.
Victoria, greetings from the Best Company virtual assistant. Is it convenient for you to take a short survey now? If you agree, say agree or press 1. Otherwise say no or press 2.
Agree.
Great, thank you. Recently, you've used some of the Best Company services. Could you please rate by the voice on a scale from 0 to 10 how likely is it that you would recommend it to a friend or colleague?
9.
What's the most important reason for your score?
Oh, guys, you're amazing. I like the services a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you for participating in the survey. Goodbye.
So the call is finished. After each call, in real time, you will receive the answers for each call. Like the NPS Net Promoter Score is 9. So the platform defines me as being a promoter. And then there is an NPS comment, an open question that we ask and use speech recognition technologies to write down the answer. Amazing, I like the services. Thank you very much. And then we provide this information to your backend through APIs, or it stores in your Voximplant Kit account. The same technology works for inbounds. We have templates here that you can use for creating inbound call scenario. Again, if you need call recording, you just choose from here. You put it in the beginning. You use interactive menu to say a welcome phrase like hello, welcome to the company, how can I help? Or do you want to know our address, delivery terms, or talk to the operator? And then you use responses and ports to recognize the possible answers, address, delivery terms. You can improve those kind of vocabularies as much as you want to make recognition work more advanced. And then you gently guide your clients through this or that IVR branch. So the whole idea of this solution is to automate all the questions that doesn't require human empathy, that voice bots are capable to handle themselves. So you can have full control of all the communication that you have inside the company, and you can be sure that 100% of your leads are handled properly. And due to the current situation, like millions of people right now are staying at home, people are nervous, and it's critically important to keep the balance between efficiency and customer experience. What you can do using Voximplant Kit, you can create call scenarios, voice bots that are capable to listen to what your client said during the whole duration of the call. And if the client calls you, says, and you say, hi, welcome to the company, how can I help? And then the client shouts, come on, I need to talk to human. We're capable to stop the script in the middle of the phrase and say, okay, we hear you. We are now call forward your request to call center agent, and then you can handle it with a human empathy. So I hope that these technologies might help you, and we'll share what to do next, how to register, and what bonuses and offers we've made for you. Thanks.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Victoria. Since we have a bit of time to answer some questions, I will make you a bit bigger so everyone can properly see the speakers. We have one question from Carl. He's asking, how would a voice bot update a customer record in CRM based on the transaction?
Maybe
So
I'll start. Maybe Becca can add. Well, a lot of it depends on the platform and the CRM, but in general, there's things called webhooks. Basically, when after every transaction, they give programmable options for calling out to say a CRM. So you'd end up likely making an API call out to the CRM. And I know Becca maybe showed some of it. Real quick inside Kit, there's some modules there that let you do that.
Yeah, exactly. So you need just a moment.
Okay.
You need to address to integration section in here. Save scenario.
I'll make it a bit smaller.
Save. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay, so there is just an integration section in a Voximplant Kit that you can use for this kind of data exchange process.
Also, okay, there is another question here. How hard is it to automate my call center? I think how long it will take and stuff.
May I answer this one? Because it's one of my favorites. You can do it as fast as you want, because all you need for that is to create this smart IVR branches, to put the logic of the call bot. I would say that one of our clients, Kiwi Bank, they automated 90% of all their inbound communications with the 97 IVR branches, and it took them 5 days.
Okay, it's pretty fast though.
Yeah, in terms of for these volumes, it's super fast. For something simple, you can make it within the hours.
Okay, great. Also, another question. Does this recognize my native language, Nepali? So it's from a question from Nepal here.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can comment quick. I mean, I know, and Voximplant, it uses Google as one of their providers. I mean, Google, I know, has in their speech engine, they support 120 different languages. So I'm pretty confident they have one for Nepalese. It's likely that Voximplant has that. I guess you probably would. I don't know if you know that offhand, Vika, or not. I haven't actually tried Nepalese, but.
Yeah, me neither, but to give you the numbers, like we have 30 plus languages for speech synthesis and more than 100 for speech recognition, including different types of English accent, like Australian and British, etc. If I'm not mistaken, Nepali as in there is, we don't have speech synthesis, but in case we don't have speech synthesis, we use pre-recorded MP3 audios for a voice bot, and then we use recognition technologies to understand what your clients are saying.
Also, there are a few questions about Dialogflow. One of them is, how does Dialogflow compare to other major bot makes like Amazon or Microsoft?
I guess I have a slight preference for Dialogflow. Amazon and Dialogflow, which Dialogflow is a Google product. They both have graphical user interfaces. I think the Dialogflow interface is a little more mature, but I think relevant to this conversation, the telephony side of things is more advanced than Dialogflow. So Dialogflow actually has its own phone gateway. It's very rudimentary, but for doing proof of concepts, it's pretty easy. But because they've introduced some telephony concepts, like they have a telephony tab, you can incorporate the telephony tab pretty easily. And this is one of the things I show in my review of Voximplant's Dialogflow connectors. Actually, you can just reuse a lot of the existing telephony tab type information in there. And you don't get that type of integration with any other bot platforms. So for these telephony use cases, that's really helpful.
Okay. Also, another question. Do calls, I think it's mainly for Victoria, but do calls forwarded from the Voximplant kit IVR go to the web SDK, similar to scenarios in Voximplant, or there is a difference?
This is super technical. This is maybe Chad, you can help me with this one. If not, we will follow up with this question. As far as I'm concerned, the logic and technically is the same, though for creating the call scenario in Voximplant kit, instead of coding, you use this pieces of like drag and drop logic, the blocks.
Yeah, I think maybe I suppose when you call into an IVR, you want to connect to the agent, right? And then calling into the IVR, can you do that via a web-based interface? I mean, I guess I haven't seen that specifically with Kit, but I don't see why you wouldn't be able to call in. I'm sure that's a possibility. The other piece, I think this is coming. I'm not sure it's in there yet, but is basically being able to have kind of an agent interface where the agent can pick up or make calls. And I don't think that's in the product just today, but I don't want to pre-release anything on your side, but I think that's coming pretty soon, from what I understand.
All right. Another question. Can we personalize the bot's voice? Is it possible to do?
Well, we can play with if we talk about the synthesized voice, we can play with a speed of pronunciation. We can code it. We can prolong the pauses, or most of our clients, after the piloting with the synthesis, they want their communications and their voice to sound more natural. And for that, instead of synthesis, they use pre-recorded audios where you can use, I don't know, chat's voice, yours voice, whatever you think it's proper for your business needs.
Yeah, I guess I'll also add too is that in most cases there's multiple options per language on what voice font you want to use. And at least I know Voximplant supports multiple providers, so it depends on the language. But in most cases you'll have multiple options of what voice print you want to use if you want to use one of the synthesized ones. And that male, female, then they're all different variations depending on the language from there. And then you can tweak and customize and modify it using SSML, which is speech synthesis markup language, which I played with that in Voximplant. Also, that works if you don't want to record your own prompts.
Is Anna still with us? Anna, we don't hear you. Yeah. We don't hear you? No, something happened. Okay, so Anna was the one who was reading the questions. If there is something where still you have questions with, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can write an email to me, Victoria@Voximplant.com, or to Chad, and we will follow up all the registrations, all the people that were in the seminar with the offers that we made for the participants. Thanks a lot.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.